Welcome to the Childcare Director's Chair, the podcast for bold educators who are ready to lead, grow, and shake things up in early childhood education. Whether you're a teacher eyeing that lead role, a lead stepping into leadership, or a center owner dreaming big, this is your space to grow with purpose and leave your mark. Hosted by heart-centered leadership coach Erica Saccoccio, each episode brings you real talk, actionable tools, and a contagious laugh or two, all designed to help you step into your next level with confidence. So pour your coffee, pop in those earbuds, and take your seat, because your leadership journey starts right now in the Childcare Director's Chair.
Masha. We're going to talk about it today because childcare is stressful enough without drama taking over your day. You know what I'm talking about, like staff who don't like each other, constant gossip, or directors calling out the staff, and people who vent but never change. Today we're diving into why drama starts, who fuels it, and how you as the leader can stop it before it spreads. We're also talking about the difference between healthy venting and toxic behavior. And by the end of this episode, you'll have the tools that you can use immediately to take your center from chaos to calm. So let's go. Today's episode is brought to you by Jackrabbit Care. They help you with all the back end of your office so that way you can be stress-free and drama-free. So check out the link below. Now, why does drama even start? Well, it doesn't just come out of thin air. It usually starts because of stress, lack of clarity, or unmet expectations. Staff might feel overworked. Maybe they feel undervalued or unheard. And when people feel powerless, they find ways to regain control, sometimes through gossip, sometimes through complaints, or even passive-aggressive behavior. You know those folks, right? So some common triggers that I see are this: stress overload, long days, multiple responsibilities, and emotional burnout. Or lack of communication. Maybe the staff don't know what's expected, or they feel that decisions are made without their input. And then there's those good old personality clashes. Different styles, different opinions, or work ethics can definitely spark tension. Another big one I see is comparison traps. When staff measure themselves against others instead of focusing on their own growth. And you know what, honey? Stop worrying about what's happening in the room next to you and focus on your own. So here are some tips for you. Start by asking, what's causing stress or frustration in my team? Once you identify the triggers, you can proactively put supports in place, like clear communication, check-ins weekly, or extra training to prevent drama before it even starts. And sometimes there are going to be people where you've done all those things and it's still never enough. You already need to know, what you got to do there. So I'll leave that there. But there are some people you're never going to please, no matter how much you put in. Now, who feeds the drama? Well, drama has feeders, and it grows when it's fueled. So who do you need to watch out for? Number one of those gossipers, they thrive on sharing opinions, spreading rumors about staff or parents. They might say, hey, did you hear what so-and-so did? Or, I can't believe they let that happen, right? Or the constant complainers. They vent repeatedly, but never take action. And all they do is focus on the problem, not the solution. And when you give a solution, they're the first ones to say, nope, that's never going to work. That's never going to work. Doesn't matter what solution you give them. Even if it's a solution that they recommended, it still will never be enough. Now there's those micromanaging leaders, owners or directors who constantly call out staff in front of others. They focus on blame or avoid coaching privately. They just want to talk, say what they want to say out on the floor in front of everybody. And that's honestly really not cool. And sometimes even the parents share frustrations in ways that pit staff against each other. And I've seen it. That never happened when Johnny was in Miss Susie's room. Miss Susie, walks on water, and every other teacher in your program is incompetent. So don't let that happen, because That really, really, really breeds a lot of drama. So recognize the feeders early. Write them down again. That's the gossipers, the constant complainers, the micromanaging, and sometimes the parents, right? So document recurring patterns. When you see gossip or blaming happening, address it immediately, but do it respectfully. And say something like, let's focus on solutions instead of pointing fingers. And over time, your team is going to learn that drama isn't tolerated. Now, drama spreads fast when it's left unchecked. So one negative comment can really spiral into a team-wide tension fest. As a leader, your role is like a gardener, and you need to remove the weeds before they overtake your garden. Now, let's talk about what is the difference between venting versus toxicity. Not all complaints are bad, and the difference between venting and a toxicity is huge, because with venting, you're just expressing a frustration. Often it's temporary, with the willingness to move forward. For an example, snack time ran late today. Can we adjust the schedule for tomorrow? Being toxic is repetitive, harmful behavior that spreads negativity. Like, this classroom is always a disaster and it's all Susie's fault. That's toxic. Now, ask yourself this as a leader. Is this person expressing frustration to find a solution, or are they just spreading negativity? Respond to venting with coaching and guidance, but shut down the toxic talk before it impacts your team culture. And encourage staff to redirect their frustration into problem solving. If they come to you with complaints, ask them, well, what's your idea to fix this? This helps shift the mindset from blame to action, because we can't just walk around all day complaining, right? If something isn't right, how would you recommend we fix it? And honestly, if they give you a great idea, tell them, okay, great, go. We're going to do that. And you have to set expectations and lead by example, because drama thrives when things are messy and not clear, right? Clear expectations for communication, respect, and accountability are your secret weapon. So make sure your team knows how are conflicts to be addressed, how do we share concerns respectfully, when venting is appropriate, and when it's crossing the line. As a leader, you model the behavior you want to see and handle conflict calmly. Address the issues directly and never gossip, because your team is going to mirror your actions. So if you're in the office with your assistant director gossiping about your team and then they talk about you, don't get mad, because they're learning it from you. So I have to call it what it is. So lead with consistency. If you call out one staff member for gossiping but ignoring another, you're going to send a mixed message. And certainly if you're doing it yourself, that's even a bigger problem. So reinforce that positive behavior. Celebrate staff who communicate well or resolve conflicts professionally. And be transparent. And share your decision-making process so the staff understand why the policy exists in the first place. So here are some things you can do. Here's what you can implement immediately. 1, call out behaviors, not people. So you do this with statements like, let's focus on solutions instead of discussing each other. And hold those mini check-ins. Give staff a safe place to vent constructively. 5 minutes at the start or end of each day. So maybe it's, hey, I'm in this morning, I've checked the emails, I've done the things, now is my time to check in with my team. And you give each person a 5-minute, what can I do for you today? What's going on? What went great? What's not going great? Let's come up with some solutions. And redirect energy. Turn those complaints into problem solving. Ask, how could we make this better tomorrow? Now, you are not a genie. You might not be able to give them all of their requests, but if you're hitting that mark 80% of the time, that's pretty darn good. And recognize positive behavior. Reward staff who handle conflict well and communicate effectively and support other team members. And they're out there too. But unfortunately, they get lost in the attention that's given to all the ones who are squeaky, The squeaky wheels get the grease, as they say, right? So make sure that you're paying attention to all of those who maybe aren't so squeaky and are doing what you need them to do and are proactive and positive. You can even role play conflict scenarios with your team, and that will help you in staff meetings. You can do some practice on how to handle difficult conversations professionally. And people will probably laugh a lot too, because that seems like really fun. And the more dramatic you are about it, the more fun it will be. So remember, every drama moment is a chance to teach, to grow, and strengthen your culture. So maybe a mini workshop, some role playing, maybe some peer mentoring. Debrief sessions are also really great. How conflicts are handled, celebrating those wins, and adjusting strategies. Because over time, your team is going to learn how to handle challenges professionally. Parents will notice the positive environment, and your program will thrive. Because drama-free centers are productive centers and way, way more fun to work in. So, if you're ready to eliminate drama in your center once and for all, I'm Erica Saccoccio, and I can show your team how to communicate, problem solve, and support each other in real time. So book me for your next PD day. We'll turn chaos into collaboration with interactive activities, exercises, real-life strategies, and of course, a whole lot of fun. So visit us over at www.childcaredirectorschair.com to schedule your session today and be the first to take a step towards a drama-free zone your staff will love.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Childcare Director's Chair, where we believe leaders aren't born, they're grown. If something sparked for you today, share it, shout it out, or pass it along to the next bold changemaker in childcare. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with Erica Saccoccio for more real talk leadership tools and a whole lot of inspiration. Until next time, lead with heart, grow with fire, and always remember, the chair is yours. Now own it.